How do parents affect their children's development? I'd like to start off the presentation with a quote by Mitch Albom. All parents damage their children, it cannot be helped. Some parents smudge, others crack, a few shatter childhoods completely into jagged little pieces beyond repair. The three things I'd like to go into are abuse and neglect, parenting styles, and single and absent parenting. The World Health Organization defines child abuse and neglect as any situation where a child experiences physical, emotional harm, sexual abuse, neglect, or any form of exploitation. This harm can be direct or potential and must occur within a relationship of trust, authority, and responsibility, such as parents or caregivers. The consequences can affect the child's health, development, or dignity. And with the well-being graph and with adult survivors of child abuse, the adults who survived child abuse experienced decreased feelings of happiness, life satisfaction, and worthwhile, compared to those who experienced no abuse during childhood, as they answered higher on feelings of happiness, life satisfaction, and worthwhile. Now let's go to the abused and normal brain. Both brains show that of a 3-year-old child. Normal shows everything is fine, while the neglected, abused brain shows enlarged ventricles and amygdala, and reduced areas in the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex. The abused child stress causes the release of cortisol, stress hormones, which I drew here, the chemical compound for that. And chronic exposure to high levels of these hormones can prevent the development of new neurons and cause existing neurons to shrink. As the high amounts of cortisol typically found in abuse targets the gray matter rather than the white matter, which it still can be affected, but it's gray matter most of the time, that is shrunken or reduced. Trauma can hinder the formation of critical neural pathways, especially during the rapid brain development in early childhood. Results in weaker connections between the regions of brain, which can lead to problems with anxiety and depression later in life. Abuse can affect the brain's ability to use neurotransmitters, like serotonin, which is important for mood and emotional stability. This affects emotional and mental health, anxiety, depression, PTSD, difficulty with emotional regulation. There's social and relational problems with low self-esteem, difficulty trusting others, challenges with social skills and empathy, and cognitive and behavioral issues, difficulties with learning, memory, decision-making, and behavioral changes like irritability and anger, as well as sleep problems. And then the purple graph down here, which is physical punishment and developmental milestones. The dark purple is physically punished kids, and the light purple is not physically punished kids. This graph shows the children aged 46 to 59 months who were physically punished showed in 5 to 10% lower in hitting at least 2 out of the 3 social, emotional, developmental milestones during the past month. Overall, abuse and neglect can severely disrupt a child's emotional, physical, cognitive, and social development, with effects that can start as early as infancy and continue into adolescence and adulthood. Children who experience these challenges often face ongoing struggles with mental health, relationships, learning, and self-worth. Sorry. Another thing that can affect their children's development is whether or not the parent is a single parent or there's an absent parent involved, or not involved per se. Whether due to divorce, separation, or other reasons, an absence of a parent can cause detrimental effects to the children, especially as they are developing. With that being said, which parent's absence causes more detrimental effects? According to Mao and Zhang, a mother's absence is more detrimental, as mothers absences are associated with issues stemming from emotional neglect and a lack of nurturing, potentially leading to feelings of abandonment and low self-esteem, and difficulty with emotional security. While a father's absence is also detrimental to the development of a child, they are often stereotyped as providers and protectors. Their absence creates gaps in guidance and protection. And not having a secure attachment can lead to insecure attachment styles, making it harder to regulate emotions and build healthy relationships. Effects of single parenting households can often lead to lower academic achievement, less motivation, reduced creativity, fewer financial and material resources, struggles with low self-esteem, feelings of being unwanted, suppressed anger, resentment towards the absent parent, and sadness and loneliness. Summary of the effects of single parenting on the development of children is that single parenting can significantly influence a child's emotional, social, academic, and behavioral development, both in childhood and later in life. Economic hardship, lack of support, and unstable environments compound these challenges, making it essential to offer extra support to children in these situations. And to the last group of things that I want to go over is parenting styles. Whether it be authoritative, authoritarian, or permissive, they have shown profound effects on the development of children. Permissive parents are affectionate and responsive, but provide little discipline or structure. They allow their children significant freedom with minimal rules and expectations. While this approach can foster a warm and open relationship where the children can feel free to express themselves, it often results in impulsive, demanding, and sometimes even selfish behavior. Children raised by permissive parents may develop poor self-control, unhealthy habits, lower self-esteem. The lack of boundaries can eventually place stress on the child-parent relationship, leading to frustration and exhaustion for both parties. Overall, authoritarian parents, unlike permissive parents, are strict, demanding, and place a strong emphasis on discipline and obedience, often without providing explanations for their rules. They show little warmth and affection and expect their children to follow orders without question. While this style can result in well-behaved children who follow instructions, it often leads to issues such as increased aggression, social withdrawal, low self-esteem, and difficulty making independent decisions. Adolescents from authoritarian households are more likely to struggle with anger management, have lower emotional intelligence, and may become involved in bullying or victimization. The parent-child relationship is often strained and often creates an environment that is built on complacency because you are in fear of what's going to happen if you don't comply, rather than you comply out of trust and you trust what your parent is actually saying to you and why it's not good to do that. Now, authoritative is a balance between setting boundaries and encouraging independence. They are less controlling than authoritarian parents, allowing their children to make choices and learn from their own reasoning. These parents use logical guidance and communicate clearly with their children. As a result, children raised in authoritative households tend to be more confident, responsible, and able to regulate their emotions. They handle stress well, achieve higher self-esteem, and perform better academically. The relationship with their parents is typically positive, featuring open communication, mutual respect, and support. Over the long term, these children usually experience a higher quality of life compared to those raised with other parenting styles. Overall, research consistently shows that parenting style has a profound effect on child psychology, well-being, self-concept, and quality of life. Children of authoritarian parents generally fare best across all these domains, while those raised in authoritative and permissive households are more likely to face challenges with self-esteem, mental health, and life satisfaction. And then here on the side are my references. And thank you for listening.